9:22. Alan Brazil in the studio in London. Ali in the George V Hotel, Paris, with his £2,200 a room, and that's a small room per night. Now the Tractor Boys, oh yes, are back in the Premier League.
So it all comes down to this.
This is the proudest I've ever been.
Euphoria, honestly, incredible.
Like the blue touch paper.
We can't underestimate what an incredible achievement this is.
Yeah, really proud, phenomenal crew, phenomenal club support, and yeah, an amazing day.
The Ipswich fans, as you can hear, in full voice around us here at Portman Road.
Feels amazing, I have to say. It's you want to get it over the line, so it's relief, it's pride, it's so many emotions, but all positive.
It really is a dream come true. It's so special. Having my family here as well. Obviously, my mum and dad have been in tears, and I've been in tears, but it's just to see this club back to where it belongs. And
goal! Amari Hutchinson! Ipswich Town are Premier League bound.
And every single player that has played their part, not just on the pitch, there's some who didn't get in the squad today, they will go down as legends.
You know, football just never ceases to amaze me.
You know, coming off the back of last year, this team delivers at crunch time.
Kieran McKenna has worked the oracle, and how. An extraordinary achievement.
And I'm absolutely loving it. It's a fantastic football club, and you know, we can look back on a season well done now and look forward to next season as well.
Ipswich are back in the Premier League.
Oh yes, so Ipswich Town are back. For the first time since 2002, they finished the season on 96 points, just one fewer than champions Leicester, and became the first team since Southampton in 2012 to go from the third tier to the first in successive seasons. John is now looking forward to Ipswich having a crack at the Premier League next season. A man who lifted the UEFA Cup with the club back in 1981. A very good morning to Russell Osman. Russ, morning, pal.
Russ, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Alan. Good morning, Ali. How's Paris?
He's beautiful, mate. Absolutely stunning. I'll be having a little walk later, and I'll probably go for a steak frite, mate, and a wee glass of red, and that'll do me before I go home. Yeah. Lovely.
Just a wee glass, yeah.
Yeah, if you believe that, honestly. Russ, they tell me there was no booze left in the whole of Ipswich Saturday night. They drunk every pub dry.
No, they're trying to stock up again. You know, the Greyhound pub and everywhere else has really been rocking over the weekend, so it's been fantastic, Alan.
Oh,
absolutely fantastic.
Now, the big question, well, I thought we might get the playoffs too. Get Up is remarkable, brilliant. The manager, cool, calm, collective. The players, the togetherness, even when we looked as if we were going to drop points, they came back late goals. It's going to be an interesting one, Russ, now for the manager, the owners, what they do. You know what it's like. Sometimes you go in, you bomb out 6 or 7, bring 10 new ones in. It's getting that balance right, Russell, isn't it?
It is, Alan, and like in the team that we played in, you know, our whole was better than any individual there, you know, and I think that's been the case with Ipswich this year. Some of the players have been absolutely brilliant, but together they were a unique blend of characters, and they had a strengthened belief in each other that the manager had instilled in them. And what he's done, he's just improved everybody that's been involved with the club around him. You know, his staff, his players, they've all come on sort of leaps and bounds and taken on the challenge of not only sort of surviving in the Championship this year, but really dominating with their style of play. And, you know, it's been a real challenge for them to be at the top end of the table all season, to maintain it and do what they did.
Russell, you touched on it, mate. I mean, the job that Kieran McKenna has done and is doing, quite frankly, is unbelievable. It's fantastic. However, with that comes its own problems for Ipswich. He certainly looks destined to go to the top in terms of his coaching and his managerial career. Would you be a little bit concerned that he might go sooner rather than later?
I think there's always going to be that question mark hanging over his time at Ipswich now, because the better he does, the more attraction that he attracts to himself. But first and foremost, he's now in charge of a Premier League team. He started off being in charge of a League One side, and he's shown what he can do in the Championship. And I think he'll be relishing the challenge with Ipswich to see how he can establish them back in the Premier League now. And he's got a great staff around him. He's got a great team of players. And like you say, but moving into the Premier League, it does throw up a few different sort of problems. Is the squad good enough? Does he have to make wholesale changes? He will find it a challenge, but he's a sort of fella that will just relish the challenge that's been put in front of him now.
Just looking at down near the bottom, Russ, we don't know. It looks like Sheffield United, Burnley, Luton, probably favourites to go down. Forest are not out of it yet. So it just tells you how difficult it is to come up and try and stay up.
Yes, it is, Alan, and it's always been the case, hasn't it? But you look at the sides that came down from the Premier League last year, Southampton, Leicester and Leeds United, and for Ipswich to compete with those teams that were hanging on to, strong squads from the Premier League the year before, Ipswich had done remarkably well. And it's going to be that challenge again. I'd like to see Luton stay there because Luton have shown what can be done, with a small club with a bit of success again. And the challenge is just going to be immense for those teams to stay in the Premier League if they can. And then the playoffs are going to be interesting with our favourite side, Norwich. They're going to have a bit of fun and games going on. But again, you go back to how well Ipswich have done. It's just been remarkable.
Russ, who do you feel you've seen most of the games this season?
Yeah.
Would you make Leeds favourites, or Southampton played well against us, didn't they? They kept the ball really well.
Just before you answer that question, Russell, I want to ask the two of you, actually. I'm guessing, and I might be presuming this, I'm guessing the two of you would want your brothers, your neighbourly brothers, to get promoted so you can have a derby game next season. Would that be the case, gentlemen?
In a way. In a way, it would be great if they did, but I played at Southampton, so I'd like Southampton to go up. I'd also, if Southampton didn't, if Norwich get there, we can take the two teams together again in the Premier League, would be fantastic. The supporters would love that. But first and foremost, it's just how well Ipswich have done.
Ali, I think I've always had a soft spot for Leeds since 1970, going back to that great league side. Too. Always had a soft spot, and if they can be more clinical, then they'll take some stomping. But if Norwich come up, it's a great, you know what it's like, Ali, Celtic Rangers, Sunderland, Newcastle. Yeah. Ipswich Norwich is no different. It would be brilliant in the Premier League, it really would. And Norwich, it has to be said, I think, Ross, I might be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, the record against Ipswich and derbies is pretty good lately.
Well, listen, Alan, it's just a good job we got promoted because I wouldn't have put any money on Ipswich beating Norwich in the playoffs, because I think Ipswich haven't won there for about 15 years or something like that. Yeah. So, it's... listen, we've been out of the Premier League for 22 years, so first and foremost, it's great to get us back there. And the playoffs, anything can happen in the playoffs. We all know that, and there's four very good sides there. Leeds have been brilliant. Norwich have had some fantastic results there. And West Brom, Southampton, at the moment, that looks like it's anybody's game.
Yeah. I have to say, Ross, before I finish, Joe was saying to me, he said, I saw Russell, Terry and George on the telly at Portman Road. Why are they not sitting together? Have they fallen out? I'm like, no, you don't. What? They sit where they're told to sit, for God's sake, honestly.
Yeah. Well, listen, I get a seat down there through a friend of mine, Mark Calver, and listen, you're going to be at our Life is Pitch TV podcast end of season dinner on Monday, aren't you?
I am. That's 100% definite I'm there, yes.
Yeah, so that'll be great. That'll be a continuation of the celebrations that have been going on.
Well, I said to Jill I'll see her Wednesday, so I look forward to that. Russ, great to talk. I'll see you next week, pal.
Yeah.
All the best, Russell.
Cheers, Ali.
Russell Osman there. I tell you what, you played against Russ. He was tough, Ali.
Brilliant. Absolutely. Well, you had a great team.
Yeah.
You had a proper team then, didn't you?
Oh,
great team. Two great centre-backs there.